Hello students, welcome to Legacy AIS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about topic where we are going to discuss about India-China relationship and a recent occurrences of a development that has happened from the Chinese side, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from China, and we are going to discuss what is the strategy that China is currently, we can say, adopting to show its assertion, especially with reference to the border dispute between India and China. And in that context, we are going to discuss that how should we see the naming of new cities of Arunachal Pradesh, or the China has named or renamed the cities of Arunachal Pradesh, and they have given it a Chinese name. So we're going to discuss about that in depth. So first of all, if briefly we try to understand that why we are discussing about this particular topic. So first of all, recently China's Ministry of Civil Affairs has announced that it has standardized the names of 15 places in the Arunachal Pradesh, and they are acting in accordance with the regulations on geographical names issued by the State Council. The State Council is equivalent to the cabinet of cabinet, we can say cabinet setup of India, and it is like we can understand it as analogous to the Chinese cabinet. So the China's Ministry of Civil Affairs has said that they will rename all the 15 different cities and places which is lying currently in the jurisdiction of India or in the territory of India and is a very integral part of Arunachal Pradesh. Responding to that, the Ministry of External Affairs of India has dismissed this Chinese invention and says that it does not have any stand, it does not have any meaning, because the whole Arunachal Pradesh is historically and always has been and in future will always be the integral part of India. 2021, the recent naming by the China has come across as in October 21. Vice President of India Venkaiah Naidu actually visited this place, and that is when it is also seen that as a protest against this, China has again tried to. Now, if we try to understand that why China lay claim on the 90,000 square kilometer of Arunachal Pradesh, it has some historical background. The first important background we have to understand is the signing of Simla Convention that occurred in 1914, and this convention was signed between three parties at that time. The one party was the British government, as India was under British occupation in this particular year. Second was the Tibet, and third was the China. Now here what happened, China actually in year 1912 they have overthrown the Qing dynasty, ruler of the Qing dynasty, and the representative of China, the independent king of Tibet, and the British government, both all of three met together and signed the Simla Convention. Now under the Simla Convention they agreed on deciding the boundary between Tibet and India, and to make sure McMahon line, Henry McMahon was actually a British cartographer or British, we can say, officer, and he actually helped a lot and demarcated the boundary between India and Tibet, and that is why this line is called as McMahon line. McMahon line stretches from the eastern border of Bhutan in the east to all the way up to Isu Raji Pass, which is lying on the China-Myanmar border on the west. However, China says that it does not recognize McMahon line. The reason behind that is that they do not recognize Tibetan authority. And China said the Chinese current government of China, if we talk about the Communist Party, they came in power in year 1949, and they said that as Tibet is an integral part of China, the Tibet do not have any locus standi to sign any kind of agreement without the approval of Chinese main party or Chinese main government. And not only that, China also said that if you look at historically, then the Lhasa monastery in the Tibet and the Tawang monastery in the Arunachal Pradesh region of India has enjoyed a very long-standing historical ties. Not only that, the ethnic people or ethnic group of people that are residing in both areas are very much similar. So on these historical grounds, also China challenges the claim of India to the Arunachal Pradesh and says that it should be a part or integral part of China. China's argument. Now, if you look at the objectives, that what is the objective of such claims, or what are the objectives of the actions taken by China, such as renaming of the names of cities and places in Arunachal Pradesh. So, first of all, experts believe that China does do so to assert its territorial claim. As you have discussed before, the China lays claim on the territory of 90,000 square kilometer of Arunachal Pradesh. So it will assert its territorial claim, and to assert it so that every now and then India and the world is being reminded that it is Chinese territory, they assert its territorial claim by taking such actions. Second, also as you discussed that many times Indian dignitaries visit to the Arunachal Pradesh and to protest outrage or to show such outrage against such actions, China also does so take certain actions. And not only that, it is also, we can consider it is a consistent effort of China to change the facts on the ground. The fact being that Arunachal Pradesh is integral part of India, and this fact China is not able to digest and do not want to agree upon that, and that is why to change the particular facts on the ground, they keep on taking such unilateral actions. Not only some other development that has happened from the Chinese side, where they are trying to assert their influences, especially in the boundary region between India and China. So first of all, in this month of December 2021, China adopted a new law on protection and exploitation of the land border areas. And as per the signing done by the Chinese Premier Xi Jinping, this law is going to come into effect from this 1st January 2022. And the detail about this particular law and how it will affect the India-China relationship, we already have made a video, so you can look at our channels and refer to that particular video for getting a detailed understanding about this particular point. Second, it also has going on, all this development is going on at the same time when India and China are facing a protracted military standoff between the two sides, especially in the eastern Ladakh region. If you remember that since last year, June 2020, both Chinese forces and the Indian forces have clashed together with each other in the Ladakh region, in the Aksai Chin region, and that is why. And before that also we have the dispute with China in regarding to the Doklam standoff. That is called the Doklam standoff near Doklam area. That is at tri-junction of India, Bhutan, and China. So all this development is going on at the same time when we have protected military standoff. And if you remember last year in 15th June 2020. There was a violent clash for the first time that was erupted in the Pangong Lake region, which is lying in the Aksai Chin, or we can say the Ladakh. Pangong Lake actually lying in the Ladakh territory, which is currently a union territory of India. And here we have a valley that is called as Galon Valley. So Galon Valley clash become very infamous, we can say, because for the first time the Chinese and Indian forces has to resort to use of force to dispel each other's person from each other's territory. So that is why these are three very significant development if you look in last 1 or 2 years. And with this renaming of the Arunachal Pradesh places can be seen as an addition to the same development that is going. Now, if you try to understand that despite all these clashes going on between both armies at the border areas, what are the steps that has been taken by both the government to maintain peace at the border? Because one thing, if you try to understand, is that both countries, no matter how difficult the situation is at the border or how disputed is the border, both countries agree that unless and until the final resolution to the border dispute is made, none of countries should be able to use force, or none of countries should be engaged in such action that can lead to war or disturbance of peace at the border. So keeping that in mind, both the countries have installed a special representative mechanism where special representatives from both the countries meet continuously or regular basis to understand and maintain peace at the border. And as of now, 22 round of dialogues has already occurred between the special representative of both these countries. So that is one very good initiative we can say that has been taken by the both nations. Second, both countries have also signed an agreement on political parameters and guiding principles of 2005. This agreement is going to be a blueprint that will decide how both countries will progress and try to solve the border dispute without causing aggressive, without having any kind of aggressive attitude, without having any kind of resorting to such actions that can lead to further war and escalation of situation at the border areas. And third, both countries have also set up a WMCC, that is working mechanism for consultation and coordination on India-China border affairs, that also working continuously 24/7 to ensure that peace and tranquility is maintained at the border. And the most important development happened in year 2013 when both countries agreed to sign an agreement that is called as BDCA, Border Development and Cooperation Agreement. This is going to be again a very important landmark. This was a very important landmark, and this agreement to a large extent can be said to be responsible for maintenance of peace and tranquility at the border, and to develop a much deeper understanding of each other's issues and each other's point of view as far as the border disputes are concerned. So despite all the negative things that is going on, despite all these problems and issues that we are facing at the border, both countries being very large economic, we can say, powers, not only in Asia but also at global scale, have also adopted a responsibility to not escalate the matters to the extent of war, or so otherwise both countries will suffer economically, militarily, and in every other way. So hopefully the matter will be solved, or if not, then at least peace and tranquility can be maintained at the border by the given mechanisms. So that is all for today. We'll discuss another important topic in the coming days. Till then, take care. Thank you very much. We'll meet soon.